We began here in Washington as U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says he takes full responsibility for accidentally including a journalist in a top-secret group chat. Speaking to Fox News, Waltz confirmed he created the group chat on the messenger app Signal, where highly sensitive details about imminent U.S. strikes on Yemen were in fact posted. However, before owning his embarrassing gaffe, Waltz trashed the Atlantic reporter Jeffrey Goldberg as the journalist with a horrible reputation and the one who hates President Donald Trump.
It's embarrassing, yes. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened. But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. Look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump not only stood by his national security advisor, he invited Waltz to the cabinet room in a show of support.
The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. So this was not classified. Now, if it's classified information, it's probably a little bit different. But I always say you have to learn from every experience. I think it was very unfair the way they attacked Michael. He's a good person. The person that was on just happens to be a sleazebag. So maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know.
As the Trump administration sought to contain the fallout, Democrats called on top officials to resign over the stunning security breach. On Tuesday, Democratic senators grilled Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Chief John Ratcliffe. Both Gabbard and Ratcliffe testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee that no classified documents were in fact shared in the group chat on Signal.
I also know Jeff Goldberg. I don't use it to communicate with him. But you thought it was appropriate. By the way, I think he's one of the more outstanding journalists in America. But I'm shocked to find him on a thread that he's reading in the parking lot of a grocery store in Washington, D.C.
And that wasn't a huge mistake? That wasn't a huge mistake?
Well, I think they characterized it as
an embarrassment. This is utterly unprofessional. There's been no apology. There has been no recognition of the gravity of this error. And by the way, we will get the full transcript of this chain, and your testimony will be measured carefully against its content. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton also weighed in on the latest leak, saying, quote, "You've got to be kidding me," end quote. Now, Goldberg's story suggested that Waltz's coordination of the sensitive war plans on Signal may have violated several provisions of the Espionage Act. However, President Trump's team knows how to downplay the seriousness of a situation quite well, leaving very little room for such action.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.